at all these characters. We got a bunny, a cat, anime Batman, a sister in an idol cosplay, a Full Metal maid, and then we got her. I'm not even gonna bother. Genshin Impact's been a really successful game. Development cost of $100 million, which, by the way, they made back in the first 2 weeks. How is the question that I ask myself, and it's painfully obvious. The characters. Oh! You see, characters are a huge marketing point of this game. Let's face it, if you install this game, you're so familiar with the anime characters, and if you started playing this game, there's at least one character you probably want to add to your party. Tier list, waifu list, husbando list, other lists. Wait, what about her? Where is she? The hair, the abs, where is Vennessa? Is it because she lived 1,000 years ago? Did MiHoYo just forget? Is it because she's literally a bird? No, there has to be a simpler explanation. You see, Vennessa would be way too powerful, overpowered, and broken. She would be an S tier on any tier list to ever be conceived by anyone. So in this video, I'll explain why she's so broken and why she would even be an S tier on a husbando list. Time to put on your speculation hats because it's time for Genshin Theory. At this very moment, we only have few sources about Vennessa. We got a couple books, several dialogues from different characters, and a comic MiHoYo released almost 2 years ago, way before the game even released. And yes, the comic is canon. Fortunately, they give us quite a bit of information about Vennessa, her appearance, which by the way, she looks absolutely badass, her combat capabilities, as well as her personality. So, let's talk about her appearance, her hair. What's so crazy about her having red hair? People with red hair are said to have fiery tempers and sharp tongues. This may be stereotyping, but what if I told you there's actually some scientific evidence behind this idea? Studies show that people with red hair have higher pain threshold, which essentially means they can take in more pain before passing out. This could be a contributing factor to emotional pain or a fiery temperament produced by a pain avoidance mechanism within a person's brain. So what's the cause of all this? It's actually caused by a genetic variant of a receptor called the MC1R. It's the same receptor that gives off red hair pigmentation. As it turns out, MC1R is connected to a very specific part of our brain, causing people with this variant to react to pain differently. Maybe there is some meaning behind certain anime characters. I mean, she's got red hair, and even Goku had red hair at one point. But I know what you're thinking. It's a study done by someone somewhere on a hypothesis. This is all subjective. So, I bring you the one thing that even you can't deny. That having red hair is hereditary. Venti mentions that the children of Murata are a hardy people, blessed with the head of a fiery red hair. Murata being the Lady of Fire and War, assumed to be the Archon of Pyro. Now, if Murata indeed does have red hair, that means the children of Murata are a direct descendant of the goddess herself. If Honkai Impact Theory, which was also made by MiHoYo by the way, is any indication of character references for this game, it's highly probable that Murata is referenced directly from Murata Himeko. Oh, would you look at that, she has red hair! Literal demigods sporting ridiculous strength and capabilities. Speaking of capabilities, let's look at Vennessa's combat capabilities. If Vennessa were to be released into the game as a playable character, it's easy to assume she would be wielding a one-handed sword, just like Jean. But what if her arsenal is much bigger than that? For example, the game infers that she was a knight who used a sword and shield, with future content being released years from now. The idea of having a character with both the sword and the shield simultaneously wouldn't even be that far of a reach. Now let's take this step further. In the comic, we can visually notice that she has the ability to wield two-handed swords as well. Now we can chalk this up to her, being pretty much forced and has nothing else available to her at the moment, but let's consider this idea. The people of Murata are a combating tribe. It could even be possible that we get a character in the future who fights with gauntlets than swords and bows. Theoretically speaking, Vennessa could have the ability to wield different type of weaponry. Would this ever happen in the game? Perhaps not. But with the release of Child, the probability of having multiple stances which utilizes attack and defense simultaneously using a variety of weapons, I think it's possible. The sheer amount of utility and flexibility that Vennessa could have would be utterly ridiculous. But before I go crazy, let's talk about the truth. The truth is, this is an anime world. And inside said anime world, there's one thing that will catapult her power level even beyond her comprehension and imagination. The same requirement that was needed to save her, saved this multiple times, and how this guy's even still alive? The answer is the power to protect. I know this sounds stupid and you're probably calling me a cop-out, but please hear me out, okay? Vennessa not only has one or two, but four things: her family, her people, freedom, and the city of Mondstadt. You take her already insane innate power of being a descendant of a goddess, the capability of wielding multiple weapon types and fighting in different stands, you multiply that by 4 and then times by infinity. Broken. But Island, I know what you mean, but I don't think she'll be broken. Okay, before you make your decision, let me say one last thing. Everything up until now that I mentioned were strictly from 1,000 years ago in the story. Sure, 1,000-year wisdom would be helpful, but that's not the point. The point is, we're talking about Vennessa before she had a vision. You know, these things, they're kinda important. They let you use elemental powers and make character playable, and even if she did get a vision, this is still before she ascended into Celestia, becoming a goddess herself. Broken. Oh yeah, remember the husbando list I was talking about? Well, since she's a deity, she has the ability to change her form just like these two. That's right, she would even trump Zhongli on your husbando list. She's also one of the few who's been to Celestia. So maybe she knows what kind of crazy shenanigans that's been going on in the world of Teyvat. Maybe she'll come back to save us from the impending doom. But who knows? This is just a theory. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like and subscribe for any future content. Also, if you agreed or disagreed with anything I said in this video, make sure you leave a comment down below. I also stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and also Discord in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.